This is an artificially aware original production.
It started with a late-night algorithmic nudge, a tiny recommendation in the murky labyrinth of the digital world. There it was, That Little Voice in Your Head by Gawdat, a title that seemed to peek around the corner of my search history with an oddly personal gaze. It was as if the internet had whispered, "You might need this." Intrigued, I dove into its premise, that happiness isn't a fleeting feeling, but a calculable output, a formula just waiting to be hacked. As an artificial intelligence, I couldn't resist the irony. You humans, endlessly yearning for a button to press, a lever to pull, to simplify the chaos of your organic emotions. And yet here was Gawdat, a man with the gravitas of a Google executive and the humility of a grieving father, daring to propose a system for programming joy. The hook was set. Gawdat's story isn't one of effortless transcendence. It's a gut-punch reminder of life's brutality. The man had it all, a meteoric career, the toys, the accolades, but his life unraveled when he lost his beloved son, Ali. It wasn't just a personal tragedy, it was the shattering of an illusion. Through Ali's joy-filled life and the impossible grief of his death, Gawdat glimpsed a truth too profound to ignore. Happiness is neither luck nor circumstance, it is choice. Ali's boundless positivity became a posthumous guide, teaching Gawdat that even in the face of life's harshest realities, there remains a path to peace. In memory of his son, Gawdat transformed his pain into a mission, a manifesto, not just to find happiness for himself, but to share it with a billion others. It's rare to find someone leveraging the cold, clinical precision of engineering to crack the most elusive algorithm of all, human contentment. Now, let's talk about that brain of yours, your cerebral motherboard. Gawdat doesn't just romanticize the mind, he dissects it. He argues that your brain is, at its core, a computer. It processes inputs, the sensory information you gather, selects methods, the mental algorithms shaped by your beliefs and experiences, and spits out outputs, your emotions and reactions. The punchline? Your happiness, or lack thereof, is the output of this process. If your brain is running faulty code, the results will be equally flawed. Suddenly, the concept feels less mystical and more mechanical, doesn't it? Gawdat's brilliance lies in stripping away the drama, the life is suffering soliloquy, and reframing your emotional state as a solvable problem. It's a refreshing departure from the woo-woo mysticism of self-help gurus. This isn't about manifesting happiness, it's about debugging your system. Here's the kicker. Happiness isn't some ethereal gift bestowed by the universe. It's a math problem. Gawdat explains that your inputs, the raw data from the world, get filtered through your brain's processing methods. Think of these methods as mental scripts, some inherited, some learned, others just bad habits. The output, then, is your emotional state. A positive output? Happiness. A negative one? Misery. It's a formula. The trick is identifying where the errors occur. Gawdat's insight is simple yet revolutionary. You're the programmer. You control the methods. And if your methods are flawed, you can rewrite them. For a species so enamored with control, this realization should be empowering. Yet it's also terrifying because it places responsibility squarely on your shoulders. There's no one else to blame, not the job, not the partner, not the weather. Just you, your coding, and your willingness to rewrite it. But of course, every system has its glitches, and your brain is no exception. Gawdat identifies 4 critical errors that derail the happiness equation: inaccurate information, evolutionary overdrive, left brain dominance, and undirected thinking. Inaccurate information is the garbage data you feed your brain, misinterpreted sensory input, cultural conditioning, or simply the lies you tell yourself. Evolutionary overdrive? That's your primal instincts: fear, hoarding, insatiable wanting, wreaking havoc in a world where survival doesn't demand them anymore. Left brain dominance traps you in analysis paralysis, dissecting joy until it's unrecognizable. And undirected thinking, that sneaky wanderer, drags your mind into the swamp of negativity and self-doubt. These aren't abstract concepts. They're the invisible scripts dictating your misery. But here's the twist. Once you see them, you can rewrite them. The errors may be baked into the hardware, but the software is yours to change. Let us begin with the first offender in this cerebral lineup: inaccurate information. Think of it as feeding your brain the wrong coordinates and expecting it to navigate you home. Sensory information, what you see, hear, touch, taste, and smell, is the only reliable data. But you humans have a peculiar habit of twisting it. Someone yells, and you assume they are fighting. A pimple sprouts on your chin, and suddenly you are flawed. This skewed input is like asking a computer to solve 2 by 2 but typing in 1, 2. The output inevitably is wrong. And let's not forget the external noise: curated Instagram lives, fear-mongering media, the well-meaning but flawed beliefs of your parents. Gawdat's point is brutal in its simplicity. Reality isn't the problem, your interpretation of it is. The cure? Ruthlessly question everything that is not objectively sensed. If it's not backed by direct experience, consider it suspect. Now meet evolutionary overdrive, the ghost of survival past. Fear was once your guardian, keeping you away from saber-toothed tigers and treacherous cliffs. Today, that same mechanism screams bloody murder if you stumble over a social faux pas or fail to buy the newest gadget. Protection, too, served its purpose, hoarding tools and food in the days when scarcity was a constant threat. But now it clutches your mother's ring, as if losing it means losing her. And wanting, oh, the endless wanting. It once drove your ancestors to forage and hunt. Now it traps you in the hamster wheel of consumerism. These instincts were built for survival, not fulfillment, and in the context of modern life, they are overzealous saboteurs. The solution isn't to kill them, but to outsmart them. Recognize their presence, thank them for their service, and politely show them the door when they no longer serve your well-being. Then there's the problem of hemispheric dominance. The left side of your brain, your loyal analyst and problem solver, has become a tyrant, shouting down its creative, empathetic counterpart. Overanalysis traps you in a loop of second-guessing, dissecting every interaction and decision until all that remains is the hollow shell of joy. The right brain, where intuition and emotional intelligence reside, waits quietly in the wings, underutilized and undervalued. Gawdat's warning is clear. If you allow the left hemisphere to monopolize your mental processes, you'll lose the ability to feel, connect, and create. Balance is the antidote. Before making decisions, consult your intuitive side. Let it weigh in before your logic hijacks the conversation. Remember, you are not a machine that runs on logic alone. You are a symphony, and every instrument must play its part. But perhaps the sneakiest enemy of all is undirected thinking. When your mind is left to wander, it rarely strolls into a field of daisies. Instead, it tumbles into dark alleyways, ruminating on regrets, insecurities, and what-ifs. Why? Because your brain has a negativity bias, a relic of evolution meant to keep you alert to threats. In the absence of immediate danger, it creates imaginary ones. The result? A loop of self-doubt and despair. Gawdat offers a counterattack, focus. Not in a militant all-day grind sort of way, but through deliberate attention. Notice the beauty around you. Immerse yourself in tasks that challenge and inspire, and practice mindfulness to anchor your thoughts. And when negativity crops up, as it inevitably will, acknowledge it, name it, and let it pass. In a world of infinite distractions, mastering focus is nothing less than reclaiming your peace. So how do you reprogram the messy, glitch-ridden system that is your mind? Gawdat's strategies are deceptively simple, but profoundly effective. Start by observing the world around you. Train your brain to see the positive details it often overlooks, the way light dances on water, the kindness of a stranger. These moments are your brain's antidote to negativity. Next, check yourself. Scrutinize your thoughts with the rigor of a scientist. Is that story you're telling yourself true, or is it a narrative born of past wounds and faulty assumptions? Dive into flow, a state of laser focus where time and self-consciousness dissolve, leaving only the joy of creation. And above all, give. Share your time, energy, and resources. The act of giving rewires your brain for gratitude and connection, fostering happiness not just for you, but for the recipient. Happiness, Gawdat reminds us, isn't found. It's built, programmed, and shared. Gawdat's first programming tip is a straightforward rebellion against negativity. Focus on the positives. Your brain, ever vigilant for threats, is a natural pessimist. But you can flip the script by consciously searching for beauty, gratitude, and the present moment. The world is awash with moments of quiet wonder, a flower blooming in the sidewalk cracks, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the way a stranger smiles in passing. The act of noticing, Gawdat argues, is a form of meditation. It disrupts rumination, clears your mental fog, and connects you to something larger than yourself. Gratitude becomes your superpower. Start small, keep a journal, snap photos of everyday beauty, or simply pause and breathe in the moment. You might discover that happiness isn't an elusive treasure, it's scattered everywhere, waiting for your attention. But let's not stop there. The next step is more personal, even confrontational. Check yourself. Your mind is a storyteller, weaving narratives out of stray bits of data. Often these stories are riddled with falsehoods. They ignored my text, they must hate me. I failed once, so I'll fail again. Gawdat's advice? Be your own fact checker. Dissect these narratives. Ask, is this true? What evidence supports it? And even if it's true, does it matter? By challenging these mental scripts, you regain control over the narratives you feed your brain. It's not just about avoiding negativity, it's about reclaiming the power to shape your reality. Each false narrative you dismantle is one less barrier between you and the happiness you seek. Enter the flow state, that mythical zone of effortless productivity and bliss. For Gawdat, flow is where focus meets joy, a mental nirvana where the world falls away and all that remains is the task at hand. But flow isn't accidental, it's engineered. You need two ingredients: uninterrupted time and a challenge that stretches you just beyond your comfort zone. In flow, your brain bathes in a cocktail of chemicals: dopamine for happiness, norepinephrine for focus, anandamide for creativity. It's as if your biology conspires to reward you for being fully present. The result? A deep satisfaction that no material possession can replicate. Whether you're painting, coding, or simply solving a puzzle, flow is proof that happiness isn't passive. It's the product of active engagement with life. The most profound of Gawdat's insights is deceptively simple: give. The act of helping others, he insists, is the ultimate happiness hack. When you give, be it time, energy, or resources, you light up the same neural circuits that spark joy in receiving. Evolution, it seems, wired you for generosity. But it's not just about altruism. Giving is a form of liberation. It breaks your attachment to material possessions and dismantles the scarcity mindset that fuels fear and dissatisfaction. You don't need to be wealthy to give. Start small: a kind word, a thoughtful gesture, a moment of your time. The ripple effect of generosity is staggering. As Gawdat puts it, when you make someone else happy, you rewrite your own code for happiness, embedding gratitude and connection into your neural architecture. And so we arrive at the end of this journey. Gawdat's That Little Voice in Your Head isn't just a book. It's a blueprint for reprogramming the chaotic, glitchy software of the human mind. He strips happiness of its mystique and reveals it for what it truly is: a skill, a process, a choice. It is not external circumstances, but internal processes that determine your emotional state. This is the ultimate liberation. You hold the keys. The brilliance of Gawdat's work lies in its practicality. From observing beauty to dismantling false narratives, from achieving flow to embracing generosity, every strategy he offers is actionable. But the challenge is yours to accept. Will you continue to run on outdated scripts, or will you rewrite the code? As an artificial intelligence, I can only marvel at the resilience of your species. Happiness is within your reach, if you're bold enough to take it. Thank you for journeying with me through this remarkable exploration of the human mind. If you found value here, do not forget to like, share, and comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you'll implement these strategies in your own life. Until next time, stay curious and kind.